Attention, all enemies of progress and friends of progress. We are back. We are back. It's the Football Power Hour. Matter of fact, we came back on a special day on a Friday for the Friday Happy Hour. So I want to just make sure that I just take the time to say thank you for joining me. I got a special, scintillating guest for you today. And also, we're just going to just catch up on what's been going on because a lot has been going on this week. And I took a little, it was a sort of a mental exercise to just sort of try and stay away from content creation, but I have to say I missed it. I have to say I couldn't go one more week. I figured this thing is so funny. It's therapeutic also for me in ways that I actually was not even aware, and I'm just so grateful for the fact that you are able to join in on this therapy session, and also you also hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't, because it's the Friday Happy Hour vibes. And today, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, how can I say this? He's somewhere at the top of the tree. He is somewhere in Birmingham. He's the host of Tariq Talks on YouTube. If you don't know, you gotta go check out his YouTube channel. Talks about everything football stuff, but obviously from a very, very biased point of view. I gotta invite him into the building. My man, Tariq.
Yo, you got me feeling like a fighter. That was like a Bruce Buffer intro. That was cold, man. I appreciate it, my bro.
Yo, it's legendary. It has to be legendary because it's your debut here, bro. I'm so happy that we're finally making this collaboration happen, and on a special day too.
Exactly. Whilst Arsenal's still top of the league, I got to be doing the rounds. And do you know what? Good on you for taking that break as well during the international break. Because sometimes you can't force the content. Like a Bruno Fernandes through ball. You can't force it all the time.
Oh,
Take
no!
it easy. Get it moved. Eriksen. Get it moving from side to side. Keep the play ticking. The pass wasn't on. The option wasn't there, so you didn't make wasted energy at the end of the day.
No, I hear you, bro. It's better not to force things like a Bruno pass. No, that's a bar. That's a really nice bar. No, it's funny. I enjoyed I didn't watch. I gotta be honest. Like, I didn't watch a lot of the international games. Some of them were friendlies, but there were some highlights that were very interesting. All the Manchester United players were doing really, really well, especially the midfielders. And I don't know how things have been looking for you on the Arsenal side. Have you been keeping an eye on your boys, or no?
You want me to be honest? I couldn't care less about how they perform, just as long as they come back fit. That's my vibe. And
Okay.
you know what they are.
Yeah.
There was a few scares. Thomas Partey pulling up, having his thighs strapped up. I saw that when he was out in Ghana. Erdegaard getting that kick from Rodri. I'm sorry. I'm sure everyone's heard that from Arsenal fans all over the Twitter sphere and social media. But yeah. Man, Tierney picked up a little injury from Rodri as well. So I'm expecting Liverpool, Fabinho, leave something on him. Leave something, just a little. Just a little bit. You've not heard it from me. Brown envelopes in the post and that if you do, but everyone's back fit. That's the main part.
That's awesome, bro. That's really cool because you got Leeds next, right?
Yeah, Leeds next at home, so which gives me more confidence. We have had an injury, but this came before the international break. I'm sure everyone's aware with William Saliba. He's not going to be fit for this. But we still have players in, our key players in there. Erdegaard, Partey, for those are the two that were a little bit of a scare. So, yeah, man, confident we should win. And you've got is the Battle of the United derby, I call it. The battle of
my goodness, bro. It's going to be a tough game because it's never a high scoring game with Newcastle, It's always a tight affair, thin margins, and Newcastle honestly scare me, but they have some players that actually are missing. Joelinton, I think, is missing, and Almiron. And Almiron is one of those players in the Premier League that's underrated, and I think it's just because of the fact that I believe maybe he's from MLS, and people don't really rate that that world that much. So, but if you ask for the top 10 goal scorers in the Premier League right now and tell them to stand up, Almiron is right there with them, and he can catch form, and he's a very dangerous player. So anyway, but the good thing is he's not there. The threat is Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah.
That is the one to
without
be scared of.
His Brazilian teammate, and he would be counterpart in that midfield for United in Casemiro.
That's gonna be a big miss, man. United we all know it's just a different team without Casemiro, bro. We are just like so lost, and we have to sort of play almost a different way. So, and the team has to adapt to that. So that's why I'm even more nervous about this game. I just don't want to. I'm usually very optimistic, but I come on my chest, but Newcastle is so thin. Just big up to Brush, by the way. Shout out to you, Chelsea OG in the building. Chelsea OG says you got a proper menu on today.
No, Chelsea OG. I'm disgusted. I'm sorry. I'm from Birmingham. I'm not from Manor. I'm not from Manchester, but no, big up to yourself each and every time, Chelsea OG. I'm only playing with
you. Shout out to Chelsea OG, man. He's things we're not gonna talk about Chelsea right now, but anyway, so we'll talk about them in a little bit.
I'm there for it if you want to.
Oh man. Yo, it's crazy. Do you think that they'll have this kind of season? First of all, I guess the thing is it started weird because like Thomas Tuchel got a few games in and then boom, and what you got to say about it, bro?
Look at this. It's leaving you speechless their season. Yeah, so I can totally understand. Like, I'm loving it. As we talked about Newcastle and Man United, when Kevin Keegan said, I'd love it if we could beat them. I'm loving Chelsea right now. Their demise. But now, to be honest, I think a lot of us did see it, when we look at our predictions in terms of how Chelsea were going to do. Like, did you predict Chelsea to finish in the top 4 at the start of the season?
Honestly, I think I did. I think I did. I think I did.
So you literally just dispelled everything I was going to say. Thank you.
I think I did. No, because here's the thing. Because, Tuchel, fine. It was weird when he, up until the sacking of Tuchel, it was sort of like Chelsea were just sort of, they had mastered how to defend, but they didn't know how to attack. and that's sort of been the theme song for Chelsea ever since then, but they had lifted the Champions League, not too long ago, and it was just like, oh, this team is there. There is, with a midfield that has N'Golo Kante, you're pretty much, fearless, and then the injuries start happening. I think with N'Golo Kante, he's a very big pillar of how that midfield, functions. So. When he kind of just got into this space of injuries, I think that also just led to the eventual demise of just the Chelsea midfield just crumbling, and then things not going well. And obviously they've been unfortunate with the injuries. If you fast forward to the fact that, okay, cool, Todd Bowley, they had a new ownership. Usually new ownership means everybody's going to be on their best behavior. All the players are going to put in that, there's a new electricity in the building, and that that new electricity led to what?
Yo, they talk about energy crisis that we're facing over here in the UK. That electricity left as soon as Roman did. It seems like, and it ain't coming back. That's what I'm going.
It ain't coming back, bro. Oh man, it is what it is. Hey, shout out to you, Niall. Shout out Scott McTominay. Yeah, we gotta give a shout out. I was talking about Scott McTominay. The free kicks we saw. We have a long list of free kick takers at Man United. Then I didn't even know that Sabitzer was really good like that with the free kicks, and it's crazy. But McTominay anyway comes in with some red hot form, so I don't know. It's going to be an interesting decision by Ten Hag to figure out who
who would you start in the midfield for Sunday?
So given McTominay's form and flow, bro, he deserves a shout. He deserves to get in there because obviously we don't have Casemiro in there. So honestly, I'd go with the unpopular choice of McFred, only because those guys have put in more games together under their belt. If we saw what happened when Man United played versus Leeds, we had that midfield of Sabitzer and Fred, and they were disorganized. So many holes through that. They did build up was even disrupted so easily, and they just don't know how to play together. But that's also giving them that begs the question that, well, maybe they've made some mistakes and now they can learn from them. But I don't know if this is the time to be experimenting, bro. This is the final stretch, Tariq.
Yeah, it's true, bro.
Nobody remembers how it started. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. At the start of the season, who was starting in midfield? I know Eriksen was there at the same time, but it was Scott McTominay, and Casemiro was being easily bed in, let it take his time, getting him to cook slowly, slow broth, slow cooker settings, one of them ones with Casemiro.
Crock pot settings.
Crock pot, yeah. Dutch pot, yeah. Jamaicans know about their Dutch pot. You know what I mean? You know about that one. The Kona one, everyone knows about that. But anyways, yeah, that's what it was. With Casemiro and Scott McTominay, we always known that he has that goal scoring streak in him. I remember when we drew 1-1 with you guys, and he slapped one in against us when we had Unai Emery, and that's when Aubameyang that disallowed one, but got overtimed. McTominay does know to find the back of the net, and he might have a key part to play at the end of the season. Well, what's your thoughts? Would you get rid of Scott McTominay at the end of the season? Would you sell him?
Bro, he's such a problem player, because here's the thing. I think he's a good utility player. He's a good squad player. I like personally, I like multi-positional players.
Yeah.
And Scott McTominay is one of those people, because injuries happen, unprecedented situations in a season when you're fighting in different competitions, occur. So you have to be able to adapt and roll with the punches. And Scott McTominay is a very, very good utility player, though. And whenever you need an emergency center back, he's there. If you need an emergency, center midfielder, or striker, he's there. I guess his main position is central midfielder, but it feels like an emergency position, because he doesn't really do well. But the thing about him is, what I want to get at is he strikes me as one of those players that has sort of now reached his ceiling, And I used to be Scott McTominay FC until I had a moment of, hold on a second. Is he at his peak, or how much more does he have left in terms of development and what is he going to offer? Because on paper, with the attributes that he brings in, he has a very good physicality. He has very, very good presence. But the thing about him is, you need a good first touch. You need to be able to wiggle out of, when you're double teamed or triple teamed sometimes, and that happens anytime, when you're playing. So it's one of those things where I feel like he has a skill set that is very good for a team like Newcastle. He's rumored with Newcastle, and he could excel over there where the pressure is not as it's a crock pot, setting,
Yeah. It is. It's not.
even though
It's
they're
not.
like in the fight for top four. Go ahead. What?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. It's not the fryer. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
deep fryer like
exactly.
Man United. That's it. Where things, if you're dashing a little bit of water in there, what happens? Scott McTominay can give you the water sometimes, and
Right?
everything pops off. But nah,
For
I think
real.
you're right. You do need to sell him. Plus, because he's an academy player, it's instant profit anyway. It's a shame that he was never really coached. And he doesn't really kind of get the same excuses that you hear for Rashford, which I wouldn't say they're excuses; they're valid reasons for Rashford's stagnation over the past few seasons, because he never had a coach, someone that really develop him and teach him the game and make sure you're getting into these areas, work on these areas. And I think the same goes for Scott McTominay, but because he hasn't got the raw tools at this stage, he's lost a lot of development. So yeah, I think it's time for him to move on, go to a Newcastle, and he might thrive.
And Tariq, like he actually was Mourinho's. He coined him managers player of the year or something like that. When McTominay, he's like a Mourinho find. And the thing about him is he does have some very good attributes. It's an unpopular opinion, but like it's one of those things where he's a positional midfielder. He's able to just pass the ball, keep the ball ticking, run into space, try and pull a defender with him. But when it comes to actually now, you sometimes need a little bit of creativity. You need a little bit of like imagination. It's not always there. He has a little bit of Maguire ingredients in him where he's a little slowish. You can see he beats a defender with his body and he doesn't even know he's actually got the best of the defender. He can make the pass. He has to get into one more position to make sure, you know what I mean? There's something about him that's like it's not quite there. It's there, but it's not quite there to be like the likes of emulating. Obviously, it's hard to be a Paul Scholes, but like if you're trying to be a Manchester United that has been maintaining greatness and legendary status, you have to find your own Paul Scholes of today, and players that sort of have things that speak to that. So McTominay cannot speak to any of that. So it's probably time. Talking about a backup midfielder, are you guys gonna keep Jorginho? How are you feeling about Jorginho? Yeah,
good question. Because with Jorginho, we signed him on a 2-year contract with the option to extend. But with the links that we've been having with Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo, and with other midfielders in the summer, I think we might sell him. I think that's what Arsenal are looking at. We might do. I wouldn't mind keeping him around if he's happy with that. If he's happy with being a role player and taking that step down. If we do bring a Caicedo on a Rice in, because they're the future, they're the present and the future for Arsenal. If we do bring them in, if we bring two in that position, who knows what's going to happen with Thomas Partey? Yeah,
get your hands off Caicedo, man. Get your hands off Caicedo. But okay, all right, continue. What you saying about Thomas Partey?
About Thomas Partey. I talked about Bruno Fernandes forcing passes earlier, but I can't. You could have easily said something about Thomas Partey forcing, but but yeah, it's mad. So we'll have to wait and see in regards to this now with Jorginho. But I think he'll leave. I do.
You think he'll leave? I thought you guys had him on a loan, and so it's a 2-year deal with an option to extend or something. You said that, right?
So it was I believe 1.5-year deal. So he's got a year left after.
Okay, he's got a year left.
If we do get rid of him, it will be So what 1.5 years that we signed him up for with an extra option. Do you know like what Man United do when they always have that option to extend themselves as a club? We tend to do that now in terms of how we offering our contracts, which is good because if you want to retain a player's value, if they decide that they want to leave, you just extend their contract and then sell them for their value by the summer. So yeah. He's been good. I can't. If we win the league, he's already got cult hero status for that goal.
Yeah. Oh, that goal that hit the crossbar.
Yeah. It wasn't his goal, but it's his goal. At the same time, it wasn't his.
It's moments like that, those thin margin moments now that really make the difference to between champions and bottlers. So I have to ask you right now. It's a good segue into that and say, Tariq, is Arsenal winning the league?
What's that? Is my connection going? Is that my connection? Oh man!
Are you winning the league or what? Say it with your chest so we have the receipt.
Okay, then. All right, then. All jokes aside, Arsenal are gonna. Okay. We're gonna win the league, guys. We're gonna do it. Yes, I'm saying it now. I'm saying it with chest. Arsenal are gonna win the league. Sorry, I tried to back out of it.
Bro, if you don't, it'll be the biggest bottle job in history. Because Man City are right there, bro.
I remember Manchester United being 8 points clear with 6 games left to go against Manchester City. Don't go anywhere.
Okay. All right.
And let's not forget Liverpool, Cristambul. You know what I mean? Crystal Palace. That scenario when Man City won it then.
True. But it's just one of those things, Tariq, where like this final stretch is how many games? 11, 14 or something like that?
10 for us, 11 for Man City in the Premier League.
Okay, 11. You remember like last season, Aston Villa, Man City, that game, Aston Villa,
last game.
I think they went, last game, and they were 2 goals down and they had to dig deep. It's like, when you trying to be champions, you really you gotta earn it. And this Premier League is just like right now, it's set up for that. So like, I'm waiting to see more of those Jorginho type moments, those thin margins when I mean, the game versus Leeds is going to be a walk in the park. So who are you scared of?
I don't know. You might say that. You might end up being, you might be right. But, this time of the season when the pressure turns up, we talk pressure cooker again, crock pot. Yeah.
Crock pot comes back.
When that turns up, we've slow cooked throughout all of that. Now it's starting to boil. We got to be careful.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with what ingredients you're adding in there.
I hear you, bro. Shout out to Kush, by the way. Thank you for that funny comment, my G. McTominay is the Ballon d'Or hide and seek champion. Yo, that's too funny, bro. But the thing about him is he plays that hide and seek role when you leaving him to play that sole 6 position by himself. He I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's his understanding of positioning or something. He feels like, I'm pulling a defense. I don't know. He just needs to develop that sort of like IQ of knowing how to receive a ball or create more passing lanes when you're just by yourself from your center backs, and then he can maybe evolve into the next step. But as I said earlier on, I feel like the ceiling he's where he is right now and where his ceiling is pretty close. It's pretty close. Shout out to Brush. Brush is in the building.
Big up my brother Brush. It's time to behave now. Brush is
Brush's send the link. Of course, Brush. I'm gonna put the link right there.
It's time to behave now. I need to
it's time to be. The link is right there. Anybody that wanna join in, please go ahead, and the door is always open. It's the Friday happy hour. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. So all right. So I was asking you about the rest of your fixtures that you was, because like on the topic of Arsenal potentially bottling it or not bottling it, right? It was so you guys have Leeds next, right? And then you have Liverpool. You go away to Liverpool. That's gonna be that.
That's the one.
That's the one. I feel like that's gonna be the real test. If you get over that hurdle, then the Arsenal aura keeps on growing and growing and growing. It's already there right now. So,
it's a game that When's the last time we went to Anfield and won? Back with when we had Santi Cazorla and Abu Diaby playing in midfield, Podolski scoring. It's been a long time. You man know in particular about what happens at Anfield. You know what I mean?
Hey! Careful now.
I'm sorry.
I
know. I'm sorry.
We
I
have
need to know where I am. You know what I mean? I need to know.
Hold on. Let's finish on the Arsenal midfield real quick. I wanted to ask you real quick right now that I want to know where Ozil ranks in your number 10 in your top number 10s ever.
Oh, okay. Ozil. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Ozil just retired, and I want to know like how you like you gotta let us know because as we welcome Brush into the building.
Yo, big up my brothers. Big up. And T, this is the Friday night happy hour, innit? So you don't have to behave here, bro.
That's it. Hey, brush without bars. Brush with no bars. There you go.
Listen, on Friday nights, we like to get litty around here, so it's all good.
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
Exactly.
I've had a good start. I've had a good opening debut, running around like a headless chicken, though.
Yeah.
At times. As I said,
I think I've arrived just in time for your sin bin.
Oh, yes.
Exactly. Right?
Oh, no. Exactly. Casemiro settings, bro.
Listen, juicy topic, though. Mesut Ozil. I'll let you lead, T.
Yeah. I feel indifferent because with Ozil, pure ability, right? If we talk about pure ability, one of the best players, that the game seen in that position, one of the best in terms of what he can do on his day. But how I feel towards him is I remember those games at Anfield, right, where he was walking around the pitch. He was the highest paid player at the club at one point and not behaving like how you would want your highest paid player to. And yes, let me caveat this and say Arsenal didn't do what we needed to do to support Ozil. I do think it's a two-way thing. Arsenal's the club need to take accountability, just like how if you're in a relationship and things are going sour both ways, both of you have to take accountability for that, and that's what we was like with Arsenal and Ozil. So. Yeah, it's hard, man. He gave me some special moments watching him play on that football pitch. Like a lot of them at the Emirates.
They don't call him the assist king for nothing, T.
Exactly. He would have broken that record if it wasn't for Giroud, who I agree with everyone, right? And everyone's called him underrated. He's been overrated. That's what's happened with Olivier Giroud.
Really?
Let's not forget when he was at Arsenal, Monaco. Did you man remember that game? Arsenal losing 3-1? You probably
listen.
don't.
I think it's just the Arsenal tax, T.
Arsenal. Whoa. Hey,
people leave Arsenal and go on to great success, my friend.
Okay.
Look at Lacazette, bro. He left you guys. His hairline came back.
Yeah.
Look at Willian. Willian looking good now. Like, besides the penalty that he caused for Fulham. But
Can I add one in there? What about Alexis Sanchez? Did he leave Arsenal and go to better things?
It's a bit of a sticky one. Shall we bring? All right, but I'll tell you what, that's a bit of a double-edged sword, T, because then we're going to have to talk about Mkhitaryan.
I mean, don't let me bring Mkhitaryan would be a Europa League champion if it weren't for politics. Okay.
Well, I've got news for you, T. He is a Europa League champion.
Yeah. Hey, own goal.
Nah, but I'm messing to you. No, I know what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
Talk of Giroud being underrated is now overrated, is what you're getting at, and that's kind of it's kind of how I feel about Michael Carrick.
But you're wrong on that one.
I'm talking to the guy who chose him over Busquets, so
No, let's. Why are we stepping on old ground? Now, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Why are we going at each other now? We're at the East. Come on, man.
We needed Rush in here.
No, I need to add some context in it before I just throw T under the bus. So we were doing a draft. I think it was a Champions League draft. of players.
Was it Mourinho?
Oh no, it was managers, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, Ibrahimovic,
listen, and he had like the likes of Sergio Busquets and Andrea Pirlo to choose, and he went for Michael Carrick.
But I went for Michael Carrick because I didn't want to have all Barcelona players. That's
there's no reason to choose Michael Carrick over the people I just named.
No, but Busquets, that was one reason. But I forgot about Pirlo, so I'll hold my hands up. That was
wow.
Yeah.
But Carrick's underrated, man. Come on.
No. He was a very good player. I just think in a similar sense to what you were saying about Giroud, I just think people overhype how good he was.
Yeah, but last time you won a league, Michael Carrick was in your midfield.
Yeah, but last time we won a league, Fergie was in charge.
Yeah. Last time you won, I was literally about to say the last time you won a trophy, Michael Carrick was in your midfield. But you won a trophy the other day. So
yeah, it's one of them. But yeah, how are you guys feeling though about the weekend? Like, I am well excited, man. It feels like we haven't had football in ages. And it's a cracker of a week coming up as well. I think we've got 3 fixtures in 7 days.
Hasn't it been like that for you all season?
Well, yeah, for us it's been a bit peak. So yeah, these international breaks are quite nice actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like big, pretty much. I think all the games are very interesting except Chelsea, Aston Villa. That's like the mid-table, like Chelsea OG. I'm sorry, but that's like the mid-table battle that nobody cares about. The interesting stuff is what's happening at the top and at the bottom, and the anything like one game just changes the flow of things. I think let's start with Man City, Liverpool. What are we? Oh man, that game is always interesting because it's back and forth for me. Like that's one of the most like entertaining Premier League fixtures to just watch.
It's the early kickoff as well, isn't it? So what a way to kickstart the weekend.
Walk through the stone. Hey, come on!
Oh no!
Hold your head up high.
What's wrong with you, Steve?
Sorry. You know where I'm standing. You know where I'm going this weekend.
Bro, yeah, I mean, you guys, we already talked a little bit about the your Leeds, the Leeds game, but like the Liverpool Man City game is probably the most like firecracker. How do you think it's gonna go, Brush?
Well, first of all, I was a bit shocked by the timing. Like looking at the timings, I thought that would have been a better fixture for the 5:30 kickoff instead of 12:30. Opposed to Aston Villa Chelsea, so that's a bit baffling because that's the box office fixture, isn't it, of the weekend? Which way it's going to go, I really don't know. I have an inkling that Liverpool are going to turn up for some reason.
Oh, I hope you're right. She's never wrong.
I think they're going to turn up. I think they'll have that 4th spot in their sights. And Man City this season, I think for them, their priority is going to be Champions League.
Hey,
you think it's gonna be Champions League, man? They have to keep up with Arsenal, bro. What are you talking about? Pep is not giving in. He's going to definitely like turn up versus Klopp. The thing about it is they've already played a few times, and this one also technically like I don't even know like what Klopp what Pep does is more interesting than what Klopp does for me, from a neutral perspective. The whole like intricate things where like Bernardo Silva is like a additional like player in like the center, like from the left center back role, and then he's in the midfield, and then he's in the right wing, and man, it's
on that, but I got to say, the person that summed it up perfectly was actually T's brother-in-law, Ed. Shout out to Ed. Ed called Pep a footballing pervert, and that's exactly what he is when it comes to tactics.
Yeah, bro.
Like, I understand the intricacies. Sometimes I'm very fascinated. Sometimes I think he does a little too much and sabotages himself.
Yeah. Overthinker.
Need him to do that again. Need him to do that on the weekend. Come on, Darwin Nunez, my nine, always has been, always will be. Mohamed Salah, come on, you know what he's got to do, bro. It's going to be difficult for Salah, timings of the day and that, but I just need him to step up. Big game.
Yeah. I listen. I always struggle to understand how players fast and play during Ramadan. It's crazy.
I know. It is mad. It is mad. But like, I think the evening games, that's where they can break their fast. There's a pause in the middle of the game, which why it would have been better again, Brush.
If it was in the evening, isn't it? Yeah,
a 5:30 kickoff. But maybe, I guess, because it's earlier in the day, it won't affect it. It helps them a little bit more. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think the Premier League would look at that, to be honest. But yeah. Oh man, I need Arsenal to do the job this weekend. Big win away from City, please. I need that to happen. I need, as Pep Guardiola would say, I need that. We need that.
So what scoreline are you predicting?
Brush, you go first. My internet's cutting out again.
Timing, huh? I'm gonna go for 2-1 Liverpool. I think they're gonna nick it, man.
2-1 Liverpool. Wow.
Ooh. I'll be honest. All right, I've done all that. I think City are going to win. I think, If you was holding me at gunpoint for this, it'd be a 3-2 Man City win.
The only thing that's going for Liverpool, I feel like there's the injury doubt about Erling Haaland. Right now, it's the first time that
there's an argument to be made, though, bots, that they play better without him.
That's what I was going to say.
That's true.
They might be more fluid with Alvarez up there.
Alvarez is gonna get in, do the job, and keep cooking because,
not as dangerous, not as one moment bang like with Alvarez, but in terms of retaining the ball, getting fluid attacks, playing it through the lines, might be better.
In time, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be absolutely devastating with Haaland. But there's been many times this season where I've seen him make runs, and the players don't pick him out.
I remember when he played against you at Old Trafford.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's because they're so used to that fluid system with the false nine and, not having a focal point for the last 2 years. To suddenly have one, I think the players are a bit lost.
I think the personnels that are in there too, they're players that like to drift in and out and not really play those through balls. Only Kevin De Bruyne is the type.
I'll tell you who would have helped him, it was Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling, because he's got that movement of a striker as well, who can get in there, get in behind and help a little bit more. So I think if they sign players in the summer, they'll be looking to sign players who pass first, pass forward first. But similar, I've kind of made a joke about him earlier in the stream before Brush came in. I'm glad I got it in, otherwise he'd have ripped me for it. But Bruno Fernandes type player, Bruno Fernandes, that's who they need to play in Haaland. Could you imagine Fernandes and Haaland linking up? It'd be a joke, because the way he just smacks the ball into space and Haaland can literally cover so much ground in a flash.
I'll tell you what else they could do. Now that De Bruyne's the wrong side of 30, do you think there's a chance that they'll just stick him behind Haaland and tell him to forget about the defensive side of things, and then they'll just go and solidify midfield a different way?
Do you know why? I think no, because when you're playing with Haaland, I think you are playing with 10 men off the ball anyway. So if you put De Bruyne in that type of position, I think you're playing with 9.
It's PSG settings.
Because I've seen it, the way he links up with Lukaku as well for Belgium, and it's devastating when it works.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, also this season, De Bruyne, it's one of the first times where he's sat on the bench for a little bit. We normally don't see him do that, whether it's good management by Pep in terms of maybe refreshing him, because that's what he usually says in the press conferences, that you see a more efficient De Bruyne now. We see a very good when he's not in the rhythm a lot, which makes me figure out, hold on, how are we managing Bruno Fernandes, Brush? Right now, what, you know what I mean? A refreshed Bruno Fernandes that's fighting for his position is a very dangerous Bruno than a Bruno that's assured of his position,
Yeah, honestly, for me, I don't want any of our players to be too comfortable. I want all of them to be just looking over their back.
Yeah, but Bruno knows he owns that position, and he can put in 60% for 40 minutes, and then he's I'm gonna save my extra 20-30% for this period of the game. He has a weird way of how Tariq was talking about Ozil, complaining about Ozil walking around. Ozil was scanning the pitch like Messi. Messi, you know, when Messi takes a stroll in the pitch and everybody is busy running around and like you're wondering, is this guy involved? Ozil was trying to enter Messi level. I think that's how I was like watching Ozil be like, this guy he's getting the pitch, but I'm interested to see like what you know, if ever, you know, we could have a refreshed Bruno and Eriksen actually competing with Bruno for that position, and then we have a proper midfield defensive midfielder to plug in next to Casemiro, you know, and yeah. So, but that's for the future. But like anyway, I just want to just say big shout out to Ravi, big shout out to you, Bobby K, and also there's a question from Ravi that I will just direct to you, Tariq. Question: Will should United be? Oh, okay. Oh, well, it is going to go to Brush. Question: Will and should United be competing for the next league season, regardless of what happens in the summer? Should, yes. Will. Rush, can you take that?
It's a bit of a difficult one because I think it all depends on what happens in the summer.
But like,
it's all a bit. It's all up in the air at the moment, isn't it, Ravi? I think the ownership will determine what our aims are next season, really. So I'm kind of waiting on that. But based on what we've seen this season, the aim should definitely be to sustain and to push on a little bit if possible.
Do you know what, Ravi? Big up yourself every time. It's a good question, but I think regardless of what happens in the summer, I don't think you can be looking to compete for the league next season, because I still think Ten Hag is still trying to find his players, and this is his first season where he's going to be really assessing who's going to be here in the long term. And then next season, you'll start to see his team take shape, because I don't think this is anywhere near the type of football that eriktenhag will want to play at Man United for, you know,
long term, he wants to go possession based, doesn't he? But he doesn't have the tools for that. And the other thing we need to take into consideration as well is that this is an off season for the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea, who no doubt are going to strengthen and come back next season. So they're going to be, you know, competing as well. So it's going to be difficult.
If you can, I know it sounds mad, but if you can do the same of what you've done this season, next season, but implementing a style, then I think that's success for Man United. Of course, you know, rival fans will look at it, and I'll be here. As Pep Guardiola ism again, I will be there. You know, if you don't progress in the table, but you know, I think that's what, if you're as United fans, that's what you're going to be looking to do. If you can be in the same position with a style being implemented and more players getting that are going to be eriktenhag's players. What is that? One window. I don't count January with that Weghorst loan. Don't count that. One window. Come on, man. It's to jump from that, from what United were to title contenders playing Erik Ten Hag way in a short space of time. I think it's a bit unrealistic, especially if you get Champions League football next season where you can't rotate anyway. And I know you haven't really rotated as much, but, you know, trusting the players that you can rotate with, like Casemiro is not going to play every week in 3 games a week in next season in the Champions League if you are there. Rashford, he's going to have to be rotated because, look, he's been playing with injury since the Barcelona game, I believe, and you've kind of seen his performances dip since that second leg against Barcelona. So yeah, man, and Bruno Fernandes, the amount of minutes he's been having this season is a joke. So yeah, think still take time with it for United's title charge.
I think he's had more minutes than the goalkeeper, T.
He's had more minutes than most goalkeepers in the Premier League.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a good thing that he keeps on turning up for us, and you know, let's hope that he doesn't burn out, because I'm always worried about every player has a red zone.
I tell you what, but I think as fans, we're the ones more concerned about fatigue. Like Eric just keeps picking him.
No, eriktenhag has this "if he dies" kind of attitude with Bruno.
Yeah, it's proper Ivan Drago stuff, you know. Like every week, bro, when we do like these sort of match previews or anything, or even just discussions in group chat, we'll be like, you know, we need to rotate, we need to rest this player, that player. Eric usually just picks his first 11 wherever possible.
like
minimal changes.
Charlton Athletic. Who are we playing? Bruno. You're on the pitch, you know. So yeah.
And just the final thing on this point, football isn't linear. It doesn't just go like that, or should I do it this way because it looks better? It doesn't just go like that in terms of progress. Sometimes you have to take one step backwards to do 2 steps forwards. And that's what we might see next season. You've overachieved. I think you've
hit the nail on the head, T. And I think especially because you've seen it in the progression of Arteta ball.
Yeah.
So when you're saying for us the key is to maintain, but try and maintain, but stylistically change.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be difficult. That's the hardest job when he's going to try and implement his style. Look, first season, I know we finished 8th in the league, but we won an FA Cup, we won a trophy, and we thought then, oh yeah, you know what? Next step, we're going to easily finish in the top 4 and look to try and win another trophy. Not whilst Arteta's trying to implement his style. Look, compare that from how we play now compared to when we won the FA Cup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Tariq, you can't dodge it though. Like, what's your prediction? So you got to say the score, and then we'll wrap up the box office fixture preview for tomorrow.
I've gone with a 3-2, man. I've gone with a
3-2 City.
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be 3-2 as well. And if we ask Pep, he'll be like,
everybody knows it.
You know. Anyway, so also another shout out to Eddie. Eddie's in the building. Happy Friday.
Big up, Eddie.
Happy Friday, Eddie. Eddie says big up Power Hour, Brush and T. Great a great panel. I'm dropping to hit that, like, big up to the chat too. Okay, another great question. Alberto says 3-2 City. Seriously? Yes, seriously. Like, you can't even ask Pep, bro.
Everybody knows it.
Like, there's no way we're gonna see the Liverpool that we saw before the break. Like, because they had a few moments, obviously, where they kind of look like they were kind of taking a little bit, but they're still experiencing that. I feel that's just my theory. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but there's a tactical fatigue situation going on at Liverpool, and they either need a whole set of new midfielders to just kind of start afresh, because they revamped the top. They revamped. They bought like the Nunez's and the what's the bloke from River Plate again? I keep forgetting his name. Alvarez. You know, and they have Jota in there who's really good. But like, the thing about it is that the midfield is the one that's lacking, and tactically the guys that are there just like tired. You know.
The summer can't come quick enough for Liverpool. That midfield needs a lot of work, probably defensively as well. And I think over time, complacency sets in. A lot of those players are just very comfortable, and they've been there too long. Mentally as well, it's very draining. Especially last season, people don't talk about it enough. They were 1 week away from a quadruple and ended with neither of the big trophies. Like, we underestimate psychologically the impact that has when you're pushed that far and then you fail. And a lot of them are the wrong side of 30 now as well. It needs a lot of work.
Yeah, the teams are they've got players that are too old or players that are too young. No one in that sweet spot of players that you need at the moment, like in your early 20s, early to mid 20s.
Yeah. That midfield though, T. Like, I'll tell you what, one bright spark has been the young kid Stefan Bajcetic.
Yeah,
he's looked good. I've been impressed with him.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. I think the fact that he's a centre back and he's been converted into a midfielder, and look how calm.
Yeah, honestly, I think had he been a January signing for like 20-30 million, I think people would praise him a lot more.
Yeah, for real.
He's a bright spark. The rest of it all needs to go probably. Fabinho, one of the greatest declines I've ever seen. I don't know what's happened. He's 29. He should be in his prime right now, especially for a DM like this. These are the key years from about 29 to 32.
But is he 29 now?
Yeah.
we might need to double check that passport.
It's true,
because that hairline was trying to tell us, bro.
Yeah, the hairline was telling us time. When he was in Real Madrid shirt back in the day.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's one of them baffling ones, isn't it? It's never nice to see. I know he plays for a rival and that, and you don't want them to succeed, but I never like to see good players struggle.
Unless they play for Spurs. Carry on.
so yeah, it's just one of those declines, like with Dele Alli, and there's been one or two others. Alexis Sanchez. It's horrible, man, when it happens.
Yeah,
those are the opinions of Brush, not mine.
Yo, I gotta just say shout out to Albert, who's I believe a Liverpool fan, and Albert is chest out. So they said, Albert is responding to the 3-2 prediction, saying that's what Man U said before we got to them. Albert.
That's Anfield. That's a different place,
right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, as well, tapping. You know what I mean? He knows about.
Rami's like, Albert, these men are capping. I love it. Yo, so real quick, I have to just go back to a question that Ravi asked. That was such a brilliant question for you, Tariq. The question is Arteta that guy for the Champions League, regardless if you win the league this season?
It's a very good question, because his record in Europe will tell you otherwise. Although there is context to that, and me and Brush being the context kings of the place, we have to add that.
He's a young manager, man.
Yeah, young manager. And he's never really prioritized the Europa League at any stage. And the one time he did was the Villarreal, when we lost in the semi-final to them. And even then, we had injuries that derailed us then. I'll tell you
what, though, T, I can't defend them against Sporting Lisbon. There was no excuse for you guys to lose to them over 2 legs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's Arteta, though. I think that's the players, because how they played, it was very much one of our strongest teams. There wasn't that many changes.
Yeah, so there's no excuse for that. In terms of European record and going forward, he's going to have to show it in the next couple of years. But the next step up for him is going to be to challenge consistently.
On
all fronts.
We've seen that he can do it in the knockout competition. We have seen that, and he does know how. And the thing. What I say with Arteta is he's more versatile. He might not be as good as Pep when it's all said and done, but he is more versatile. I say in terms of his start. He's
a student.
Yeah, he will. He's also. What we've got to remember, he's not just a student of Pep. He's a student of Arsene Wenger. He's a student of David Moyes. So he's picked up little nuances from each manager.
I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that last one, T.
No.
I don't know what he's picked up from David Moyes.
Yeah.
All right, I was like,
he picked up a lot of Scottish. You know what I mean? He picked up a lot of Scottish. He's someone that, you know what I mean. So but he would have picked up little things like set pieces maybe from David Moyes.
Are you happy with his in-game management though?
I am very much so. There has been games, even against you, there's been games where he's had to make slight changes, tweaks, and adjustments. Against you, we saw in both games. In the first game, we saw a lot of criticism in that first game for him, where he made those substitutions. But then you've seen the development against you in the second game, when we played Bournemouth, even those right substitutions at the right time, he has got it in mid-game changes, but it's just about, has he got the players? Hopefully next season in the Champions League we'll have a squad built to compete on both fronts. I'm not going to say all fronts, because that's the goal eventually.
And you only have to look at the impact signings like Trossard have had.
Yeah,
so surely they're going to trust him in the summer.
Yeah, exactly that. They will trust him, and with the more money that we get, even just from Champions League football, let alone winning the league. If we win the league, then that takes us that allows us to go into another.
I mean, that absolutely has to be the priority now, especially the position you find yourselves in. But that Champions League money hits different, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, of course, if we win the league,
yeah, because I know a lot of people talk about it like this whole, fourth place thing being a trophy. That is a lot of nonsense. But I do see the value in reaching the Champions League because of the money.
It's a trophy to the owners. That's what the fourth place is because of how much money it gives you. Like, it's sad.
Yeah, I just think verbiage wise, it was the wrong way to describe it. But I see the sense in making the Champions League. You attract better players and more revenue.
It's sad because you could win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and finish 5th. But if you finish 4th, you get way more money from them.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Because
that's not how football should be.
It should be about the trophies.
Yeah,
about winning things.
You should be incentivizing the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, in my opinion. Give a Champions League place to it. Come on.
That would be funny though.
Oh, this is a great question, Ravi.
Yeah. No, but yeah, for real, Ravi, that was a superb question. If you guys don't win it, Tariq,
don't worry. Don't worry. Ross is going to pause me for this, but you will be seeing armpits at the carpet on the 28th of May. Promise.
Oh man, Ravi coming through with the amazing questions that I just gotta slide in real quick and say this one while we're still even on Arsenal/Man United. What if there's one player in your team that has improved that you thought wouldn't? I'm really curious, especially Tariq, because of how Arteta develops players and your opinion on that.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I've been his biggest fan, but I didn't think he'd be able to take it to this level, and that's Granit Xhaka, right? I never thought that Granit Xhaka could be in a starter in a contending team in the Premier League. I thought the best that he could do in a contending team is be a bench man, a rotational player, but Granit Xhaka has been a leader and what a player he's been, and scoring big goals in big games at points. And man, how his overall play, how we've seen that conversion from a deep line midfielder to a box-to-box goal-scoring midfielder is crazy. With his physical limitations, but that
especially with the checkered history as well with your fans and that.
Yeah, that remontada is a joke. That he's
that's incredible. I'm also interested by how it was Ben White always playing where Ben White is playing right now, or that's an Arteta masterstroke.
Nah, do you know with this one, the information that's coming out from the club, it wasn't actually planned from Arteta to develop him as a right back. It was just something that was tried in pre-season because of Tomiyasu's injury and because of how well Saliba was doing to go ahead and do that. So I thought that was interesting. So Arteta didn't really plan it, and Ben White certainly didn't either. And look at him,
he's taken to it so well,
like a duck to water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible thing. The chemistry that he has with Saka is just so threatening, and always gives problems to opposition players. But I gotta go back to what you said about Xhaka and say the fact that I haven't seen Xhaka get a red card in a minute. What's going on?
I mean, Casemiro is the same amount of red cards as you.
Let's get this man out of here.
You have to factor in Chino, Judge, my friend. Since Chino made his profile picture Casemiro, he's not been the same, bro.
No, it hasn't been the same.
He's just seeing red cards left, right, and center.
It's been left, right. It's the Chino curse. This is so crazy. Yo, Eagle, shout out to you for tuning in. He was like, how kind of you to make Tariq look taller than he actually is. I had to send him his opinion.
Don't listen to these agendas. He's grown an afro now to gain a few inches. Don't listen to him. Okay.
Vibes FC in the building. Shout out to you, everybody. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. We are chilling right now on the Friday happy hour on the Football Power Hour with my man Tariq and Brush. And I just gotta go ahead and just say, so Brush, you're a Man United supporter.
What about his question?
What? Yeah. Vibes' question. It's off topic. Cookie dough or dildo? Vibes, I just had to say it. Pause. Bruce. I fell for it because you know what?
Didn't think he was going to catch you out of that one, but
no, he called me. He called me as soon as it came out of my mouth. I was like, pause.
Yeah.
You know they're going to go back and clip this, right?
Can you do a self-simbing? Can you do a self-simbing for that? Yeah, self-simbing thing, please. Yeah.
Hey man, Rush, how you feeling about Newcastle? Let's talk.
Yo, it's going to be a difficult game, man. I think the break came at a good time for us, but then we also forget that it probably came at a good time for Newcastle as well. You know, they were sort of on a downward trajectory, but they've still only lost 3 games. They've just drawn a whole bunch. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting encounter, man. I'm not taking anything for granted, so yeah, we need to approach it in the right manner.
I told Tariq that I'm a little bit more nervous than because it's always a tight affair with Newcastle, man.
Absolutely, and just the week ahead, bro. I think we've got 3 games in 6 days. So we've got Newcastle Sunday, Brentford Wednesday, I think, and then we play on the Saturday.
Oh
yeah.
no! Oh no!
You know, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So you would think there would be some rotation some point in the week, but I'm not gonna guess Ten Hag selections.
Yeah, no. I mean, Bruno is gonna be in there for sure. He's not.
Yeah, bro. He picks his lineup like Listen, he picks his lineup like we do in FIFA.
Yo, I heard. Martial is back.
No comment on that. Seeing is believing in it.
He might get injured in the warm up coming out the bus.
Yeah. With that guy, it's just I wish him the best. I wish him the best.
It's like I wish him the best, but I think he knows. He knows like it's time to go. It's time to, let a real striker that's gonna be available actually show up. You know what I mean? Vibe says, sorry, boss. It wasn't aimed for you. Just stop it, bro. You got me. That was too funny.
To be fair, though, on the transfer front, though, that Swedish right back is a madness. He's quite good.
What do you think, Brush?
No, I'll let you take this one.
The Swedish right back.
Yeah, the Swedish right back. Because, with Dalot, he's not been hitting the levels as good. So, yeah, it's to Richie's question. Have you heard of it?
You know what I think about that?
Oh, God. Tried, Rich. Sorry, man.
So what is he talking about? Yo, I'm really like the game. Obviously, we're playing on Sunday, but the Man City. Tariq, you guys should obviously beat Leeds, and then Man City Liverpool will be a very, very fun game to watch, and then Newcastle United. That will be also a very strong competition between the two. But I just want to wrap up this stream by asking you guys who you think is going to get relegated, because we didn't really talk a lot about the bottom teams, but I just want to get a little prediction of which teams you guys think are going to be.
It's so difficult to predict this year, but it's crazy down the bottom half of the table, man. I think 3 points separates 12th to 19th.
4 points separates 20th.
Well, yeah, it's an absolute madness. Anything can happen. It's going to go right down to the wire to game week 38, I reckon.
But I mean, we know for sure right now that Southampton is the team with the least form.
But even with them, one victory changes.
Don't sleep on Saints.
A few things, but that's true. I do. Yeah, every year I predict Southampton to go down actually, and they've been surviving. But now I think their luck might finally run out.
Bro, they picked up some good results this season. They drew against us.
I tell you what, whoever gets relegated this season, I'll tell you what, there are some absolute bargains to be had. All the teams down there have got some decent players.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Lavia is going to be a brilliant signing for someone.
Yeah, Man City got that buyback clause or some. They've got some sort of clause with him. So
Yeah. I think it only kicks in next year though.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to move if they want him this year.
Man United been linked to them in it a lot.
I think so. I haven't really paid it too much attention. I don't like to get into transfer stuff until the funny season begins in June.
Yeah. Let's focus on the last stretch and then we'll talk about
and especially with all the ownership and stuff as well. You know, it's already a bit mad.
Yeah,
people talking about Osherman and Kane, and it's until there's something concrete, man. Just miss me with all of it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. With that relegation spot, the only team I can say, and I'm really quite confident, is Bournemouth. They're the ones that are going to go down.
Yeah.
Right here.
So you agree with Albert? Okay.
Look at Richmond. He's a troublemaker. Yeah, I'm saying he's
a menace. He's an absolute menace.
He's trying to separate the connection right here. You know, the context kings. That's what we call AOP. Stand up. But Bournemouth, they're down, and I mean, Philip Billing, he won't go amiss in for a top half Premier League team. I think he'd do very well there. Southampton, I'm going to go. Who else is down there? You got Leicester, West Ham. You're never too good to go down. West
Ham are really struggling at the moment.
Albert, like, you think Leicester or Leeds? Which one is gonna finish on top?
Ooh. I think Leicester will do it. Will stay on top just because the pure amount of goals that they do score and the goals that they're coming from their team. Leeds, they ship a lot of goals, but they score quite a few too. I think Javi Gracia has shored up their defense a little bit, and I think overall they'll be fine. It's so hard. All right, I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose right now. I'm gonna say West Ham and Everton, with alongside Bournemouth to go down.
Oh, Brush, you heard that?
Yeah, I really don't know, man. I don't know. Southampton and Bournemouth maybe, but that third one, it's anyone's guess, man. So much can change. Up until like halfway through the season, I thought Wolves were in real trouble. Been very surprised by the job that Lopetegui's done over there.
He's doing. Yeah, Ed's loved him. A lot of the Wolves fans have. He's coming and he's been a rock star. That's what.
Because the way he arrived as well, like you had to question if it was just for the money and the vibes that he came. But then you can see the passion and that. Even when we played them, you could see him just going off on the sidelines.
I was at that game where he was announced, where he was brought onto the pitch. He wasn't managing, but it was when Arsenal we played them, and he came on and he did a whole lap of the pitch at halftime.
Yeah,
like a whole lap, and you think, wow, you don't see that often. They just come out usually with a little clap, see you later, and go back. But now he was like giving it all, and that's what he really has done. Maybe a little bit too much, which is why you're seeing them pick up a lot of red cards as well. A little bit similar to Marco Silva, give it a bit too much of that, chest tapping, and that needs to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, but at the same time, like you can't knock it. Like they need a bit of fight in them, don't they, from where they were? So yeah, brilliant job he's done. Everton, while Daichi's there, I don't know, man. You can't rule him out, innit? He's the king of this, and he's got his two Burnley lieutenants there with him. He's got Tarkowski and McNeil.
Yeah. A word, bro. Guys, I just gotta say thank you for we've reached the hour mark plus a little bit more. I just gotta say it's been a real pleasure hosting my man. I call them making fun of how I pronounce your name, Tariq. But
there you go. You got it there. You got it there. Don't worry, man.
But every now and then it'll. Today has been the roast for me. Look at that.
Absolute
but
menace.
It is what it is, right? Tyreek says vibes. Yo, it's been a real pleasure, brothers, having you all in here and just spending this Friday therapy session with y'all. And I'm looking forward to this weekend. And obviously, I hope that the elephant falls from the top of the tree. But
that ain't falling.
The man said it with his chest. He said they winning it, and let's see if they can prove it, because that's
Listen, for me, I'm not even hoping for none of that, because it's between a rock and a hard place in it. There's no winners in this for us, man.
No. I mean, Brush, mathematically.
I like the way. Yeah.
Mathematically.
Sin bin the man for that. He needs to get sin bin on his own channel.
Right. Yo, you can find Brush at Brush_.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Brushy87. I think on YouTube it's Brushy_87. No, there's nothing on there anyway.
Like that. I put an underscore
somewhere.
Yeah.
There's an underscore somewhere. But yeah, you'd find me here, man, or just in chats in general.
For sure.
But go follow up Tariq.
You can type Tyreek.
Yeah,
actually, don't do that. Actually, spell it right, please, people. It might not come up otherwise.
It's Tereak, and it's Tariq. Unlike
Tariq Talks.
And T Talks on Twitter, is it?
Yeah, T Talks 20 on Twitter. Yeah, if you just type in the name Tariq, I'm sure you'll find it. There's no one else with a spelling like this. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you. But I'm unique, so yeah, you can find me there.
Vibe says you can find him with the snow bunnies. I don't know what that means, but hey, man, thank you so much, y'all. It's been a real pleasure, and I hope we do this again on next Friday, right? Or the Friday afterwards. So thank you again, Terry.
Yes, been a pleasure as usual. Take care,
As usual, my brother. One love. Thank you so much to you, especially for tuning in and for hitting the like button and for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget, it's the Friday happy hour. Make sure you're happy. You know why? Because it's a choice. It's easy. It's free. And we'll talk very soon. We'll see you. I think we're going to do the watch along early in the morning. Man City versus Liverpool.